So I wanted to make some serious videos, looking at our status on getting back to Thailand and how 2020 has been for my family and me during lockdown in the UK. Now, since my first attempt at this video, in England, we've gone into a second national lockdown.
From Thursday until the start of December, you must stay at home.
Meaning international travel is again banned.
For many, they're becoming images from an almost forgotten era as winter sunshine abroad's cancelled, at least for the next month.
This doesn't actually change the conclusion we'd reached on getting back to Thailand, but reinforces our view that things are unlikely to improve until some months into 2021. Until recently, we'd been optimistic about 2021, plus it felt a long way off, particularly during the first lockdown. But this second lockdown, currently, ends in early December, and when you look back at the last 6 or 7 months, you know there's easily another 6 or 7 months of this ahead of us. So we've come to an unhappy acceptance. So our experience of 2020, like many people, it started with plans to vacation and see family in Thailand. We booked our flights in October 2019, long ahead of our planned August visit, a time when no one knew what was coming. In fact, we travelled so much in 2018 and 19 and planned to continue doing so that I decided to start my YouTube channel on the eve of the biggest pandemic for a century and weeks before a near global lockdown. So to set the scene, I'm from the UK and my British Thai wife has lived in the UK since she was a child, so is more British in many ways. Food and religion aside maybe. We vacation in Thailand every other year during the school holidays, see family, and of course unwind from a year of hard work which is sometimes totally focused on those 2 and a bit weeks away. 2020 was beginning just like any other year, but then we heard about a new virus. Initially, few were expecting it to reach our shores in the West, but then it reached Europe and got closer each day. As cases first appeared and then started increasing in the UK, our hopes of reaching Thailand started to fade. I had to work from home, the schools closed. The panic buyers stripped the supermarket shelves as we went into lockdown, and then things got in your face real. My wife worked in the care sector, albeit in administration, at a seniors care home, and as March became April, a few staff were off sick. At that time, all the focus in the UK was on protecting our National Health Service. But the virus was already in care homes. In the days that followed, they had a resident pass away, and with only a hard core of staff still working, they were rocked by death day after day. They lost 7 residents during an embattled 9-day period when my wife described her workplace as a war zone, but one where she still needed to work on site of course, now trying to register deaths and arranging multiple funerals, whilst trying desperately to source PPE such as gloves and masks for the staff. Unable to get this from the authorities, our evenings were now spent trying to buy it privately, mostly from companies in China selling it on eBay. More weeks passed, May became June, and things were calming. Our holiday was a great target to keep us going, picturing a week at our favourite resort in Hoi Hin, a city break in an apartment in Bangkok. Everyone was still hoping it would be over by the summer, but globally things weren't improving. Then the airline cancelled our tickets in mid-July, but in truth, we'd accepted long before that it wasn't going to happen. In many ways, I count us fortunate, because we haven't yet, nor have any of our immediate family, been sick. By July, we'd got used to living the new normal as the first wave faded, but unfortunately, many here then tried returning to the old normal as the summer went on. So where do we find ourselves now? In the midst of a second wave, and in another lockdown, but with Thailand starting to accept its first international visitors on the special visa. Being in a Western country badly affected by the situation will be a long way down the list of countries that Thailand will allow back in, and so in my next video I'll expand upon this and look at our status in getting back to Thailand.